Hello, students. This is Jeremy from White Mountain Science Whimsy with another tutorial video. Today, we're going to be digging more into animation. This is animation part 2. And we're going to be working today on a code that will be in your normal tutorials folder or studio. It's called animation tutorial number 2. And we're going to be digging a little bit more into animation today, and we're going to be adding a couple more pieces. The pieces we're going to add, we're going to be adding when blocks. So if I do something, then my animation will start. And we're also going to be adding some movement into our code because right now we know how to change costumes, we know how to change size, but we don't know how to add in some of the other movement elements as we go along. So we're going to work on that. We can start. So I chose a dove today. And the reason I chose a dove is because as we change the costumes on the dove, it looks like it's flying. And one of our goals is going to make it move upwards as it flies so that it looks like it's flying upwards. What you can do first, as always, we're going to have a go-to block at our beginning. And I'm just going to send it to the very middle of the board. As we remember, our coordinates, 0, 0, sends it to the very center. So I'm going to go do that. And then today we're going to be working a lot with different when blocks. Those are over here in events, as you can see. So there are a lot of when blocks. There's a when this sprite is clicked. There's a when the backdrop switches. There's even when, this is kind of fun to play with, when loudness is greater than a certain number. So if your classroom's really loud, it would trigger your animation. For now, we're just going to choose when this sprite is clicked. And this is sort of an if-then statement that we've been talking about. If I click the sprite, then it's going to do this thing, this animation, right? So as we talked about last week, the forever goes here like a big C shape, and then the costume, next costume, and the wait blocks go inside the C shape, right? It's like the forever block is giving it a hug. Forever hug. When you press green flag, now it looks like it is, or no, excuse me, when you press on the dove, right? If I press the dove, then it's going to animate. And you can even choose a number that's smaller than 1. Remember, we type a point in front of it to make it a little bit smaller. Then it'll even animate faster. Or I could try 0.1. Any of those great numbers. Now it's flying very fast. Great. So it could be when the sprite is clicked, you could use that. You could also, here, let's stop our code. We could also use when the space bar is pressed, right? If you're trying to create a video game, it's a really good idea to use the when blocks and have them attached to keys. Let's try that again. Down arrow. There we go. As always, I forgot to mention this, but there is an example code in the batter over here. So if you forget how to create an animation, this is ready-made for you. Great. Now, the last thing that we're going to work on, let me stop this, is we're going to work on having the dove slowly fly upwards as it animates. Now, adding movement into this loop, this forever loop, would make it look a little choppy. So we're actually going to rig up a separate loop. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add a wait block as well. Or no, I'm not going to add a wait block. Let's see. And finally, I'm going to add a glide block. Now, I want the bird to glide upwards. So gliding up is a Y number. So let's see. When I grab a glide over here, actually, I don't need it forever. When we grab a Y over here, I'm going to have it glide. I'm going to leave it at X equals 0, but then Y equals 150. And I'm going to have it glide over the space of 3 seconds. Let's try that. Okay, now I'd like you to do the same thing in class, but mess around. You can have your character glide to different places. So down arrow starts flying, and then spacebar, it goes upwards. Except we're not going to do the spacebar. We're going to do the the up arrow because I don't want to trigger my batter. So down arrow, flying, and then it slowly goes upwards. All right, that's all for today. Good luck animating this in class. And if you have time, go beyond the dove and try a different character and have it move and animate at the same time.